Hello, welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex, and I'm feeling upset. And I know that you can kind of tell from my last video that I'm a little upset. But I've seen a few things in the last couple days that has made me even more upset. So I just kind of want to talk about it and also throw out there that those of us in marginalized communities are going to need extra space. We're going to need extra self-care time. We are going to need to care for ourselves and each other extra. So, what I'm talking about, all the shootings that's been going on, especially since the vaccine went out and people feel more comfortable going outside, there's been a huge increase in shootings and violent crime like that. There's been a rollback on trans people's rights, especially in Arkansas, where they have outlawed it for doctors to treat trans youth with hormone blockers and or hormones. There's been communities hurting everywhere for a long time, and it is getting worse, such as the Hispanic community, the Black community, the Asian community, the neurodivergent community, along with people who suffer from mental or physical disabilities, along with the LGBTQ plus community. All of these communities, and probably more that I have not mentioned, are being scapegoated by propaganda that the majority is gobbling up. And I am very frustrated with it. Since I can spot propaganda from a mile away, it makes me very upset that others are not seeing how ridiculous the messages are that are being propagated, usually by really ridiculous, cringy memes. And it's being propagated and put out by a narcissistic government, by a narcissistic, whatever you want to call, that runs us and sets the social parameters. We're being run by that, by pretty much narcissistic oligarchs who use the government to do whatever they want to do with. And the people being scapegoated are minorities. And the fact that the majority of people, I don't want to sound like a racist right now, but the white people cannot catch on to what's happening and how they're being manipulated is incredibly frustrating. This is why we need education about trauma in schools. This is why everybody should know about trauma. And the fact that trauma itself is sort of like a taboo subject to bring up. And when you do bring it up, you come across people who think that they know more than you with no life experience, with no research in the field. They just throw their really uneducated opinions at you and expect you to take that with the same weight and depth as you would somebody well versed in the field. The false confidence and the arrogance is really activating. It's very triggering because I've been in this dynamic before. I was raised by a narcissistic parent. I've been scapegoated before. And I'm telling you right now, none of us are up for being scapegoated on a massive scale. And that is the position that everybody is putting us in. And then judging us for the reactions that we have. It's an abuse cycle. Our government has a persona that they like to put out there. Like, oh, of course. Especially the Democrats, they have this brand of being the People's Party. They're not. They're not. They're scapegoaty too. They're a part of the problem too. And so I just wanted to put this out there as like a video of solidarity. If you fall into these scapegoated communities, please reach out for support within the communities. We got you. We know what's happening. We can feel it ourselves. And the way that we get through this is by sticking together and communicating with each other. As a advocate for mental health, I should also be talking to advocates with Black Lives Matter and just any minority advocate. I should be networking with them and talking with them. And same goes for anybody who falls into a scapegoated minority. Start talking to other people who are victims of this oppression and this blatant abuse of propaganda that has literally got us screaming at the people who are close to us, our family members, being like, what are you talking about? What you're saying makes no sense whatsoever, and this is really upsetting. Because we can't just stay quiet. We can't stay quiet about this. And this won't last forever. Governments who do these sorts of shit games to control people and to amass all the wealth that they can, they fall. They fall because the human spirit and rebellion will always win out, and that progress will always win out. Sure, it's going to be really sad and painful watching it happen, but progress and the human spirit always wins out. You cannot force people to be somebody who they're not. You can't do it. So, I guess that's my stressful ramble. I'm just trying to sort out my thoughts. I feel so upset, and I'm going to just try to support the best I can in the ways that I can. And I feel the upsetness with everyone. And I feel the pain that's being spread like wildfire. And I've been feeling it for a long time. But that doesn't mean that it gets easier, or that just one day there will be a switch in my brain where I'm like, oh, I don't care anymore. No. I'm going to care all of the care. And there's no turning that off. So I guess call me a snowflake. And not you guys, obviously. Most of you who are watching me probably agree with me. But if you want to send this to somebody who doesn't agree with me, go for it. I'm up for debating some really horrible logic. Oh, wow. It's been a long week. Stay strong, everybody, and know that we gonna fight for rights. We gonna fight for the rights that everybody should have. 'Cause there's nothing else to do. That's our options. So, sending good feels out. Have good ones.